The phrase pave the way is one of the most hotly debated topics in K-pop fandoms, especially between ARMYs and older generation fans. It's a phrase that carries weight, but sometimes it's used in ways that erase the contributions of those who came before BTS. Let's break down what paving the way actually means, because I genuinely think that most people that throw this phrase around don't even know its meaning. Paving the way is not just about being successful. If that were the case, any group with a #1 hit could claim to have done it. Paving the way means breaking barriers and making it easier for others to follow the same path. Imagine a forest. The first person who walks through it has to cut through thick branches and create a trail. By the time the next person comes along, the path is clearer and easier to navigate. In K-pop, paving the way means making industry-wide changes that shift how K-pop is perceived globally. BTS didn't just walk into fame without resistance. They faced xenophobia, language barriers, and the long-standing idea that K-pop was just a passing trend. What BTS did was break those barriers so that future groups could step onto Western stages without having to explain their worth. Their achievements weren't handed to them. They shattered the glass ceiling with pure effort, talent, and connection with fans. However, this doesn't mean BTS was the first to venture into international waters. The path wasn't empty before they arrived. The seeds were planted by second-generation artists like Big Bang, Girls' Generation, Wonder Girls, and BoA, who took the first steps into global markets even when the demand for K-pop was minuscule. Before BTS, second-gen artists were testing the waters overseas. BoA held concerts in Japan, Wonder Girls opened for the Jonas Brothers, and Big Bang was holding sold-out shows across Asia. These artists were fighting to get attention in markets that weren't fully ready to embrace K-pop. Their efforts, while not always commercially successful by Western standards, exposed global audiences to K-pop's existence. Big Bang, for example, sold out arenas in Los Angeles and London long before BTS entered those markets. They weren't performing at the Grammys, but their fan bases stretched across continents. Their fashion influence, genre experimentation, and performances were essential in pushing K-pop beyond Korea. Wonder Girls even charted on Billboard with Nobody, becoming one of the first K-pop groups to make that breakthrough. The importance of this can't be understated. Without second-gen groups taking the risks to introduce K-pop internationally, BTS wouldn't have had the same global platform waiting for them. The hard-earned exposure these artists created allowed for greater accessibility for future groups, smoothing the road for BTS to build on and expand further. BTS didn't just walk down the path, they bulldozed through it and extended it into places K-pop had never touched. Stadium tour, Billboard Hot 100 #1s, Grammy nominations. These were milestones that seemed out of reach for K-pop in the past. BTS redefined the ceiling for K-pop, proving that non-Western artists could dominate globally on their own terms. What sets BTS apart is the scale and influence of their achievements. Winning awards at American award shows and holding United Nations speeches was unheard of before BTS's rise. They elevated K-pop to the level of global pop music, rather than just a genre tucked away in niche fandoms. However, BTS themselves have acknowledged that their success wasn't born in isolation. They consistently reference older legends as inspirations. This isn't just humility, it's a recognition of the fact that their journey was made smoother because of the barriers that had already been chipped away by earlier artists. BTS stands tall, not because the road was empty before them, but because others started the construction. One of the biggest issues in K-pop fandom discourse is the erasure of second-gen contributions. Some newer fans, eager to crown BTS as the ultimate pioneers, downplay or outright dismiss the impact of older groups. This isn't just disrespectful, it's inaccurate. BTS didn't debut into an industry that magically gained international recognition. They entered an environment shaped by those who fought to make K-pop even a blip on the global radar. Imagine calling BTS the first to pave the way when Big Bang had already been holding Dome Tour and collaborating with Western artists a decade earlier. By erasing the contributions of second-gen artists, fans overlooked the very industry conditions that allowed BTS to thrive. It's like celebrating a tree without acknowledging the roots that support it. K-pop's global expansion wasn't a one-group job. It was a collective effort. While BTS undeniably broadened the path, the work of older artists should be respected as part of that journey. To be clear, acknowledging the influence of second-gen groups doesn't diminish BTS's success. BTS's achievements stand as historic and groundbreaking. Recognizing that others contributed to the growth of K-pop isn't taking anything away from BTS. It's simply placing their achievements in the larger context of K-pop's evolution. BTS went further than anyone before them, but they didn't invent the idea of K-pop's global presence. Their role is more about amplification, expansion, and innovation. Fans can celebrate BTS without discrediting those who came before. It's possible to recognize multiple trailblazers without turning it into a competition. At the end of the day, BTS did pave the way for the current generation of idols. That's undeniable. But they weren't the architects of the road. The foundation was laid by those who dared to dream of K-pop crossing borders long before it was profitable. Groups like TVXQ, Big Bang, and Wonder Girls didn't see the same level of international love, but their persistence made BTS's rise possible. So, next time you hear someone scream BTS paved the way like they're about to drop a mixtape, remind them that it's a shared legacy. K-pop is a story of growth across decades, not the achievement of a single group. Let's celebrate that, all of it.